Proverbs and sayings reflect the values, traditions, and way of thinking of every nation. Therefore, to understand a particular nation, it is necessary to study not only its language or history, but also its proverbs and sayings. The largest collection of Ukrainian proverbs and sayings includes over 30,000 entries. So, where to begin diving into the vast source of Ukrainian folk wisdom? We'll explore this in this episode. Hello, I'm Nick Lisitsky, and this is the magical world of Ukrainian folklore, an educational series for those who want to learn more about Ukrainian culture and identity. Let's start with some interesting facts. Fact 1. Proverbs and sayings preserve collective memory, reflecting the history, worldview, and cultural development of the Ukrainian people. Fact 2. Today, proverbs and sayings may seem simple or sometimes unclear, but they encode ancient beliefs and perceptions of the universe. Fact 3. Proverbs and sayings also reflect core values, the moral ethical code, customary legal relations, and the national character of Ukrainians. Fact 4. Proverbs and sayings are tangible evidence of the high level of development of the Ukrainian language. Fact 5. Ivan Franko recorded over 30,000 proverbs and sayings. He began collecting them in childhood and continued throughout his life. Since our videos are popular science, in the theoretical section, we provide scientific definitions of key concepts. A proverb is a concise, succinct, and self-contained aphoristic expression that artistically conveys the people's judgment about life phenomena. There is also a folk definition, maximally concise and self-contained. A proverb is the wisdom of the people. A saying is also a concise expression that artistically characterizes a particular phenomenon. The difference between proverbs and sayings lies in the fact that a proverb is a complete statement with a moral or instructional meaning, while a saying is more of a hint at a certain conclusion. Sometimes a saying appears as a shortened proverb. For example, proverb, "My house is on the edge, I know nothing." Saying, "My house is on the edge." Or, proverb, "If you chase two hares, you won't catch either." Saying, "Don't chase two hares." However, besides proverbs and sayings, there are other small folklore genres: blessings, omens, puns, greetings, charms, toasts, curses, witticisms, riddles, slogans, and more. All this diversity in folklore studies is referred to as paremias. What is a paremia? A paremia is a term derived from Greek, used to denote small folklore genres, alongside the term proverbs and sayings. Paremias include not only proverbs and sayings, but also blessings, omens, curses, riddles, and other genres. All these forms are carriers of collective memory and folk wisdom, reflecting the history and cultural development of the Ukrainian people. There are even specific branches of folklore studies: paremiology, the science of studying paremias, and paremiography, the collection, systematization, and publication of paremias. Until approximately the 17th century, proverbs and sayings were called parables. This term appears in the works of Ukrainian polemicist writers, in Cossack chronicles, and in the collection of Clementi Zinoviev. Scholars believe that Ukrainian paremias originated in ancient times, when people's perceptions of the world were forming. Thus, the oldest proverbs, sayings, and riddles are related to natural phenomena, and today, they allow us to study the mythological and cosmogonic beliefs of our ancestors. Examples of Ukrainian proverbs and sayings can be found in ancient literature, such as the Ruska Pravda, the tale of Igor's campaign, and the instructions of Volodymyr Monomakh to his children. The first collection of Ukrainian paremias is considered to be Clementi Zinoviev's Common Proverbs, compiled at the end of the 17th century, containing 1,500 proverbs, sayings, and folk aphorisms. The renowned linguist and folklorist Oleksandr Potebnya argued that proverbs and sayings evolved from longer texts, fables, which were stories with a plot and a moral. Over time, these texts condensed into smaller forms, becoming paremias. Behind every proverb lies a story that has been compressed into a single sentence, preserving its moral and cultural context. This condensation of folklore texts can also be observed in anecdotes. While in the late 19th century, an anecdote was a full-fledged story, today, few would listen to jokes longer than a few sentences. The same applies to epistolary genres. From lengthy letters of the Romantic era, we've moved to communication via emojis. The most prominent collector and researcher of Ukrainian paremias is rightfully Ivan Franko. Even during his gymnasium years, he became fascinated with the idea of systematizing all Ukrainian proverbs, or, as they were called in Western Ukraine, sayings. Throughout his life, he collected, recorded, and cataloged materials, amassing a total of 30,000 entries. These were included in the collection Galician Rus, Folk Sayings, today the largest collection of Ukrainian proverbs and sayings. Paremias are much more than wise or witty phrases. They are linguistic formulas that reflect a nation's culture. Moreover, each type of Ukrainian paremia reflects specific traits of Ukrainian society, allowing us to study traditional behavioral norms, worldviews, or ancient beliefs. For instance, the origins of riddles date back to ancient times when people perceived the universe differently than today. Here's an example of such a riddle. An oak long lived with 12 branches, each branch bearing 4 nests, and each nest containing 7 eggs, each with its own name. The oak is a year, the branches are months, the nests are weeks, and the eggs are days. The image of time here is represented as the world tree, one of the key mythological symbols. We discussed Ukrainian cosmogonic beliefs in more detail in one of our previous episodes. In their early stages, riddles served magical functions, were linked to cult rituals, and acted as a secret language. Riddles were a form of initiation, where young people underwent trials and gained the knowledge of their clan or tribe. The ability to speak in hints or riddling language was once considered a sign of wisdom. Echoes of these traditions persist in beliefs about mermaids, who posed riddles to girls and could tickle them to death for wrong answers, as well as in Ukrainian wedding rituals, where riddling language accompanied courtship, matchmaking, and the wedding itself. Paremias, such as blessings and curses, expressions wishing something good or bad, are also tied to ancient beliefs in the magical power of words, which could help or harm. Proverbs and sayings were and remain one of the ways to regulate behavioral norms in society, guiding people to this day. They also reflect the core values and national character of Ukrainians. Here's a selection for you. Top 7 Ukrainian proverbs reflecting traits of the Ukrainian national character. Freedom needs no permission. Love of freedom. Truth is like the sun, it will rise anyway. Pursuit of justice. While the wise one thinks, the fool already acts. Thoughtfulness. You reap what you sow. Responsibility. You can travel the world with lies, but you won't return. Honesty. Cheerful laughter is health. Sense of humor. The godfather and godmother know, and half the village knows, strong horizontal ties. Proverbs and sayings shaped values, set high moral ethical ideals and behavioral norms, and ridiculed laziness and carelessness. The Ukrainian attitude toward work is also reflected in paremias. Children were taught to work from an early age. Historically, Ukrainian children began helping with household chores from the age of 5 and actively assisted their parents from 6. By the way, toasts also belong to paremias, although the word toast became widespread in Ukraine relatively late. The tradition of consuming strong drinks is quite ancient. Each raising of a glass was accompanied by specific blessings or sayings. These include not only the traditional budmo and budmo hey, but also variations like drink to the bottom so our thoughts align, in whose hands, in their mouth, and may our enemies grow feathers in their throats. Proverbs and sayings hold significant importance in cultural resistance, as they are tangible evidence of the high level of development of the Ukrainian language. For a concise, self-contained, aphoristic expression to emerge, a language must evolve over many centuries. This means that the nation, as the bearer of this language, must live, create, think, and accumulate folk wisdom. The fact that tens of thousands of sayings, covering an extremely wide range of topics, from archaic cosmogony to everyday social issues, were collected by the end of the 19th century, indicates that both the Ukrainian language and the Ukrainian ethnos have very ancient roots. As mentioned earlier, the first collection of Ukrainian paremias is considered to be Clemente Zinoviev's Common Proverbs, created at the end of the 17th century. Other collections and studies, which are now sources of knowledge about Ukrainian paremias, were published in the 19th and 20th centuries. In this episode, we'll briefly cover just a few of them. A detailed overview, as always, can be found in a separate article on our website, with a link provided in the video description. Sources and researchers of Ukrainian paremias, Ukrainian sayings, proverbs, and the like. Collections of O.V. Markovich and others, compiled by Matvey Nomis. The publication consists of two parts. The first contains paremiological material, 20 sections, and the second includes riddles. It has about 15,000 entries. Galician Rus Folk Sayings by Ivan Franco. This is currently the largest collection of Ukrainian proverbs and sayings. The first and second issues of the first volume of Pavlo Chubinsky's Works of the Ethnographic Statistical Expedition to the Western Rus region, titled Beliefs and Superstitions, Riddles and Proverbs, Witchcraft. 3 volumes from the series Proverbs and Sayings, compiled by Mikhailo Paziak. Human economic activity, human life, family life, character traits, interpersonal relationships. An academic edition. The collection Riddles, compiled by Ivano Berezovsky. It contains over 2,000 riddles about natural phenomena, flora and fauna, and human economic and spiritual life. The goal of our project is not only to introduce you to the magical world of Ukrainian folklore, but also to the professionals who study it. In each episode, we highlight scholars who have advised us and who you can involve in projects related to cultural diplomacy, the popularization of Ukrainian folklore heritage, or other initiatives requiring expert opinions from folklorists and ethnographers. In this episode, we present Natalia Saltovska. Natalia is a candidate of philological sciences and an associate professor at the Department of Folklore Studies at Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv. Her research interests include folklore, Ukrainian paremiology, the history of folklore studies, traditions of folk upbringing, and methods of teaching folklore disciplines in higher education institutions. Friends, did you enjoy this episode? What new things did you learn? Share in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video so more people can learn about it. Let's promote the magical world of Ukrainian folklore together.